Nothing I can have. Dreams come and they go. Hello! The long-awaited DCP Character Performer Audition experience video is here. Now, like I said with my application video, this is all just about my experience. Watch this video, watch other people's videos, and gather your own opinions about it. I did not, in fact, get Character Performer, as most of you know if you've been watching my videos. I'm in merchandise. I hope everyone's okay. As someone who has majored in drama here at college and has been a performing theater major for the past almost 6 years of my life, I think it's really important that people like me make videos about the Disney audition experience and say that it's okay to not get it, even if you have my background, and that people that don't have my background, who have never performed before, might also get the role. And that's totally okay. We have no idea what Disney is looking for, so all positive thoughts here. And let's get started on what my experience auditioning was like. Overall, the Character Performer audition can last anywhere from 1 hour, I don't think that's very likely, unless you're in the first group, then maybe, 1 hour to 6 hours if you stay till the very end. Mine was 4.5 hours long, maybe. If you didn't know, this audition is for Disney College Program only, and it's for character performers, character lookalikes, and parade performers. So none of the singing shows are a part of this audition. You don't have to prepare anything like a monologue or a dance routine or a song, none of that. You don't have to bring headshots and resumes. I know I wanted to, but I ended up leaving it because there was too much bulk going on. You don't need it. They take pictures of you. They're not gonna ask if you've had experience in a musical before or anything like that. They just want to see what you bring to the table on that given day, and they will do their work based off of that. So don't worry about bringing anything extraneous besides water, snacks, some shoes other than your street shoes, so clean sneakers, jazz shoes, ballet shoes. I wore ballet shoes, but I also brought my jazz shoes. Nothing with heels because they don't want those to mark up the dance floor or, you know, cause any problems with that, so character shoes are a no. Any heel that you would wear on a night out is a no. Just simple, clean dance shoes. I did wear makeup to my audition. As you could probably tell, I don't do makeup very often, so I watched Kenzie Mac Brown's video about DCP Character Performer auditions and got her advice on how to do it, kind of, because I usually go for a natural look, which just means to me concealer, mascara, and like a tinted lip balm. But she went a little further into it. I will definitely leave her YouTube channel down below if you want to subscribe to her. If you aren't already, what are you doing? She's one of my favorite Disney YouTubers. She was a character attendant during her DCP, and then she later became a character performer, and she got to hang out with my favorite princess, so please go check her out. My character performer audition was on Friday, March 2nd at Pearl Studios here in New York City, where we are right now. It was supposed to start at 10:30 a.m., but because of our lovely weather this year here in the Northeast, we had a nor'easter, meaning there was lots of rain and kind of sleet. It wasn't exactly snow, it was too warm for that, but it was really windy, there was awful rain coming down. A bunch of us had planned to meet up at the Starbucks right around the corner from Pearl Studios at 9:15 a.m. We all met up around there. We basically blocked the whole entrance to the Starbucks, which was really fun, and I didn't feel uncomfortable at all. Once you get to Pearl, you do have to give them a photo ID, so that could be a driver's license, a student ID card at your university, anything like that that shows your face and your name, and they just scan it and then they let you go upstairs. I think it's to the 12th floor. I've been to Pearl quite a few times. You think I would remember what floor. And then you usually have to look on the boards to see what room you're in. So we went to the first holding room, and after our big group of people from Starbucks flooded in, there was probably over 50 or so people there. I was number 24, so I was in the very first group to go in, which was so exciting. I get really anxious about not being early or on time to things, so it was really good for me that we got there when we did. And there were very few people who were there before our giant Starbucks group had gotten there. They started our audition really early. Like I said, we were supposed to start at 10:30 a.m. and my big group of people got to Pearl around 9:15 a.m. They brought us into that first room around maybe 9:25. They just wanted to get it rolling, I figured, because they wanted to get people out before the weather got worse, or they didn't want to keep us waiting in all our soggy jackets and umbrellas and things. So it's definitely important to get there early, especially if weather is inclement. Shortly after we got into that very first holding room, they gave us our numbers. The first 50 of us were moved to another room. Now, they asked that we be really, really quiet because in Pearl, if you don't know, there's rehearsals going on for Broadway shows and auditions going on for off-Broadway and different companies and all that stuff. So they asked that we be really quiet as we grab all our stuff, our soggy, wet stuff from outside, and move to the next room. I think they had probably 4 rooms in total that they were using around that floor on Pearl, so it was really important that we all stayed quiet and professional when we were moving from room to room, despite all of our excitement. So in the second room, we were introduced to our casting director for the day. Our group of 200 only had one casting director. I believe her name was Soroya. I know it was something very, very interesting and cool. I hope I got it right. And we also got introduced to our 2 choreographers, Crystal and I think Lindsay is the name of the other one. And they were all very, very friendly. They gave us a few disclaimers about, you know, just having fun at the audition, not being afraid, smiling, having that Disney smile on your face and having that positive energy. They said they wanted to see pixie dust and fun and all the stuff you might expect them to say at a Disney audition. One thing that Soroya, our casting director, said that I am going to uphold in this video is that they really count on us to uphold the magic during that audition and after the audition. So I'm not going to be showing you guys all the dance combinations that we did in the audition. I know that some people do and that, you know, helps them get likes and views on a video, but I feel very strongly about preserving that within Disney Entertainment. So coming straight from the mouth of a casting director, keep the magic alive. Don't share everything there because they are extending a bit of the magic to us by having us in this magical audition experience, and we want to keep that alive together because we're all Disney lovers. After all those introductions, we were asked to fill out a Google form as our sign-in. So basically what that was just, I think, your name, your audition number, maybe your school. I don't remember, but it was all very basic. There were probably 4 questions at most, and it was really easy. She asked us to disconnect from the Wi-Fi because she didn't think the Wi-Fi at Pearl could handle all of us on at once, and then we just type in the Google link, and then we filled it all out, submitted, and then put our phones away and turned them off right after that so we could jump into the dance movement part of the audition. For my group, Lindsay was the choreographer that we had. It was 2 counts of 8 to On Your Feet by Gloria Estefan, but it was the Disney version. The dance was really, really easy. We learned it all in lines going across the studio, and of course Pearl has dance studios, so it's all mirrors all around you, so you can watch Lindsay, you can watch yourself, you can watch other people, and have lots of frames of reference. It was a march for 4, I'm looking at my laptop, march for 4, pivot turns for 4 with arms going up and then arms going down, grapevine to the right for 4, clap at the end, and then windmill arms, spin out of it for 4, and that's all. I have had dance experience. I did it when I was very, very little, and then I had to do it again all throughout high school as a theater major. I'm not a great dancer. I can pick it up, but something to know about me is that my nerves usually get the better of me. But the dance overall is really, really easy to learn. Try not to stress about it, and if you have any questions, ask the people around you, ask the choreographer. They are so accommodating about questions like that, and they want everyone to do well, so don't feel weird about asking. I'm sure everyone, even the trained dancers, could benefit from doing it again and again just to get it in their bodies and to get comfortable and have fun with it. And then after that, Soroya came back into the room. She'd been out for a little bit. If the room is set up this way, the door is here, the mirrors are here, and we'd been practicing going this way, we then practiced going down this way where a table was set up. So as we were practicing, I remember going down, Soroya was setting up at that table and kind of looking at us as we were going, and I was like, should I start performing lots now? My advice, always be performing, always be happy, always be on during this audition. It's really important to keep up that energy the entire time. You're only there for like 6 hours tops, so you might as well just lay it all out. After Soroya was finished setting up that one table at the end of the room, we all got lined up in number order 1 through 50, and then number 1 went in the first line, 2 second, 3 in the third, 4 in the fourth, and then everyone lined up behind them just filling in. And what we did was we went down the room, or across the floor as dance people will call it, and you perform the routine 2 times or maybe a third going down towards Soroya. So what you really want to do is keep that smile on your face, keep your energy going, and just let yourself have fun with it. I know I was a little afraid, like, ooh, am I allowed to make sounds, like let out a woo or anything like that? And I think you should if you're feeling it. I wish I had. I was kind of scared and didn't, so I just smiled the whole time and had fun with it and, you know, kind of boogied out. One of the guys in one of the last groups was dancing and kind of messing up a little bit, but he just had this great energy and he let out a great like, wow! And everyone in the room laughed. It was so great. After all of us had done our across the floor once, we actually got into line and just kept feeding in behind the people who were still going. So everyone actually got to go twice. So if you messed up the first time, then you could redeem yourself the second time. There was always more to go off of if you're nervous or if you're just trying to get a grasp on everything still. They really give you the chance to show what you got, so it's all good. After everyone had gone through the combination twice in the room, Soroya gathered us to the middle and gave us a little speech saying, if I call your number, you are going to be staying and moving on. If I don't, you're not. Thank you so much for your time today. Please don't be discouraged. Come and visit us again. So she called out a bunch of numbers. A bunch of the friends that I had made, all of them I think except one sadly, got called on to the next round. I got really nervous around mine because she kind of stuttered on my number. She went like to 24 and I was like, here! So that was really frightening and my heart was pounding so fast. I think we were split basically in half. I was really happy to have made it on to the next round because if you make it past that first round, it means you're in consideration to be a character performer at all. So even if you don't stay to the third round or past the normal rounds to read or to get recorded in one of the dances, it means that you're still in consideration regardless. So that was amazing to know. By then it was probably 10:15. And they moved us to yet another room. This one we hadn't been in before, and this was our green room for a majority of the time that we were there. As the first group that went up, there was a lot of waiting time, so this was a great period for us to go to the bathroom, get water, have a snack, talk to other people, and just kind of chill out before we had to move on to the next room. I got to meet up with Chrissy, who is from a town near me at home, and I know through a friend, so hi Chrissy, and Lexi, and Kaylee, and Gretchen, who's from NYU, and it was really great to talk to those girls and just vent our feelings a little bit and get excited and think about all the possibilities that were ahead of us. We were moved back to the room where we had our first audition part, and everyone else from all the other groups who had made it to the next round were also brought in there. And this time, instead of signing in, we were filling out physical audition cards. This basically says your name, your height, or what you think your height is, your audition number, your DCP status, maybe your college information. I don't remember all of it. I didn't take pictures of it because I didn't think that was allowed, so didn't do that, but it's all very basic information. And then after we had finished filling those audition cards out, it was so exciting because we saw them setting up a little Disney height stand. So to do that, we all got lined up again in number order. They had us hold on to our audition cards, take off our shoes that might give us any height, and they had us go in stations. So we were lined up around the perimeter of the room. The first station was them taking pictures of us pretty much from like maybe the chest up, and it was just our face on an iPhone or an iPad or something like that. And then we handed them our audition card. They asked us if we had any tattoos. I said no, I don't have any. And then I moved on to height. So they have you stand on the little height thing. They might ask you to straighten up your spine a little bit. I am usually 5'7". They said that I was 5'6" 3/4", which was okay by me. They slowly moved us as we were done to the old green room, and after we'd been in there for a short amount of time, they moved us to another room. It was a big dance room, the biggest room we've been in yet. And people were already in there in a big circle, and they were going around saying their names, their universities, their majors, if they'd been accepted yet, and what for. And it was kind of just this big old love fest that kept growing as more people kept entering the room. And then the other choreographer, Crystal, came into the room, and she said, I don't want to break this up, but we gotta start dancing. So we did. Then she explained that we would be working the animation portion of the audition first. Ours was Toy Maker transforming into the toy that they're making, and then she split us into 2 or 3 groups and played some music, and we practiced our animations. Her big tips were to make movements as big as you possibly could. So if you're doing like a race car, instead of just driving like this, you want to work with the speed of it. So maybe it's getting really fast and you have to go like this, or maybe you're slowing down to a break and you go like this. So involve your whole body in it if you can. Soraya also popped in and told us that there's a rule of 3 that they kind of like to follow. If you're doing something that you repeat 3 times, then maybe you should change it up, find some other things to do that can bring it to life a bit more. After we'd gone over the animation in our groups a couple different times, we went on to learning the second dance combo. This one is quite a bit harder than the first one, mainly because it's fast, and for me, because I was so nervous. I knew that I'd pick it up probably fine, but when I got into the room, I wasn't sure what would happen. Anyway, this was a 7 or 8 count of 8 dance to Shake Senora by Pitbull. We learned it really, really slow in a lot of different chunks, and Crystal was so helpful in going over it multiple times. People, of course, asked questions. She even singled out the boys to do it by themselves in one group because there were maybe 8 of them. When whoever your choreographer is teaching it to you, just make sure that you're paying attention. Just let yourself actually enjoy the process of learning it, and that smile will come naturally to you. You go over it so many times. It got so hot in that room and we were all so sweaty, but we didn't really want to open the windows either because the nor'easter was still going on outside. When all the questions were satisfied and everyone felt okay, we were sent back into that long-term green room that we've been in twice before, when they actually started taking people from our group to go do the audition portion for Soraya. They took us all in groups of 4, and it was by height from what I gathered, because my smaller friends like Lexi went first and I was the last or second to last of my friends to go. They take you to where we had our first audition portion. This time, if this is the orientation of the room, she was at the front of the room so we could still see ourselves in the mirrors, and we lined up upstage, downstage, upstage, downstage. It's just that way, and then they switch it because you do it twice, so that way they can see you. My group personally did the dance twice and we did the animation once. I was kind of sad because I messed up the dance a little bit the first time, but the second time I definitely got a lot more on board with it and shook off my nerves a little bit more. And I was a little disappointed with my animation. I chose a jack-in-the-box, and I really wasn't a fan of that idea because I didn't think there was much you could do with it. You could, smile and you could have like a loose, weird spine, but that rule of 3 came into play and I thought about changing my toy, but then I didn't end up doing it. I wish that I had, so my advice to you is, if you're feeling in the moment that a choice you've made is too boring or you're not having enough fun with it, go with that impulse. As an actor who's been training for, like I said, almost 6 years now, you would think I would trust my instincts enough in the audition room to go with an impulse if I was feeling not challenged enough by what I was doing. But I was really nervous, so I didn't. But that is a-okay. Life goes on. Soraya actually called out 2 of the girls from my group, so half of my group, not me, to stay. On the way out of the room, we were all handed these little slips of paper that I'll show you right here. And I put my audition number over it too. It basically told us what would happen from here on out regarding character performer stuff. So it told us when we would hear from them by, and we would hear whether we'd gotten the role or not. It would tell us what to do if we had gotten the role and we were already in the DCP, that they would just change your role over and you'd have to accept that. If you did not get it and you are in the DCP, like me, you would just keep your old job. If you did not get the role and you are not already accepted, what would happen? Which is basically that you would continue going through the application process, and whether you get that or not means you're in the DCP or you're not. All the information was super helpful and convenient. By then, it was around 1:40 p.m. From what I heard via Facebook and from my friends about the rest of the audition process, if you were there for parade performer, they had you practice the dance a couple more times, and then they recorded you in small groups again, doing the dance a couple different times. And then if you were there for face character, they would ask you to read for face character. They would take more pictures of your face, so that way they know what you look like in the costume. I think they do a bunch of fun Photoshoppy stuff with that down in Orlando. And then they were also sent home after a while. Now to reflect. I was sad that I'd messed up my dance a little bit, and I was sad that I didn't have a bolder choice or a more fun choice for me when it came to my animation. But that's kind of part of auditioning. Sometimes you have regrets, and that's something that I'm kind of used to by now because I get nervous a lot in auditions and have a lot of shoulda, woulda, coulda feelings. and you know, I could be down on myself. I could wonder if my height was wrong, but the thing is, I don't think anybody truly knows what they're looking for besides the choreographers and the casting personnel that are there. And I think that we all sometimes have on days and off days, or off moments and on moments, and I had a bunch of those throughout the entire audition, as I've had in many auditions before too. If there's one thing you take away from this video, if you're going to audition for the DCP, or if you have already, or any auditions in life, overanalyzing is not productive. It's just not good for you, and it's just good to let it go and move on instead. There will be other opportunities to audition, whether for the DCP or just in general for Disney. I think I've heard that there are character performer auditions again when you're down in Florida towards the end of your program, and maybe I'll do that, and maybe I won't. I don't really know right now. I'm still trying to figure my life out, as we all are, I'm sure. For now, I am so excited to be in merchandise. I really want to find out my location. I can't wait to brighten everyone's day with all the magical moments I can make. And I can't wait to make tons and tons of friends during my CP. That is all for the DCP Character Performer Audition Experience video. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. Feel free to DM me on Instagram or any of that sort of thing. I would love to make another video about this going more in depth if that's something you're interested in down the line. And as always, if you have any requests for certain videos, feel free to let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching. You are all wonderful. Keep smiling, keep auditioning, whether you get into the DCP or not, whether you made it into character performer or not. Keep trying, keep going, go after what you love. I will see you again soon. Bye! Ooh, that was a nice crack.